Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Friday afternoon / evening, heading into a weekend. Should be interesting, as always. Don't stop what you're doing. Don't stop preparing. If you haven't started, no time like the present. I'll tell you why. I'll go into that, so hear me out. Also have a really good, I have two verses I will share with you that I promise that you will enjoy, so stay tuned for that. But first, last night, as you know, yesterday was June 6th, and that was this year is the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion during World War II. Ms. Dawg and I were watching some stuff on TV on Fox. Fox News had a interview with a veteran from that time, and they've interviewed this guy before. I forget his name, but I think it was Martha McCallum that was the one that was interviewing him. Anyway, this guy was a treat. This guy was awesome. He was just, recounting his experiences and the things that really struck with us, that really stood out. Well, it all stood out. But she asked him towards the end of the interview, what do you think about what's going on these days in our state of our country? And he said, I will tell you the truth. I feel like a foreigner in my own country. I think that was very telling, coming from a wise veteran. This guy's 97 years old. This guy lied when he was 16 years old. He lied to get into the army. I mean, think about that. Lied about his age just so he could get in the army to fight the war. Do we have people like that now? I don't know. Maybe a few. I don't know. But it's so different. It's such a different time now altogether. But he said he feels like a foreigner in his own country. And one of the things he mentioned was, he said, it hurts me to see the flag so disrespected. And he even mentioned, how they put these flags on Jeeps and the cars, and they wave them, and it gets dirty. They don't take care of it. He said, that's bad enough, but he said, what really gets me is when I see them burning it and spitting on it and tearing it up, and cutting up the flag. He said, I'll tell you this. He says, if I come up, don't let me catch somebody doing that. This guy's 97 now. He says, don't let me catch somebody doing that when I'm around. He says, I will put a stop to it. And that dude said it with conviction, man. I believed him. And we were like, yeah, that guy right there, that guy. Anyway, it was really good. Multiple warships from Russia are heading, if not already, they're heading to just south of Florida, the Miami coast. They're going to make stops in Cuba, so Havana, and reportedly some other South American countries. But the one that stood out was Cuba. Think about that. Multiple warships, including a nuclear-powered submarine. And they have nukes on those things. You know this. We have the same on our submarines. The UK probably has the same too. France. We got a situation, y'all. We've got a situation, and it's not like critical mass right now, but I tell you, I don't think I was chatting with a friend earlier, and he said the same thing. He's like, we're closer than ever. We're closer than we ever have been to a shooting war between us, between the United States / NATO and Russia. I mean, think about that. All those years of the Cold War, and we have ourselves a little mini Cuban Missile Crisis, is what we really have here. We do. If you really think about it, it's essentially what we have. Except this last time when we had it, we had JFK in the office. This time you have a guy who doesn't know where he is half the time, has to be literally, physically guided off stage, told what to say. He claims that he's known the President Putin, President of Russia, that he's known him for over 40 years, even when Putin was in the KGB as an agent. So he's saying stuff offhand. Obviously, the guy is not mentally fit. And we have that guy in office, and no telling who's around him that's really pulling the strings during such a time as we have right now. The foreign policy has been a disaster anyway for the last few years. Afghanistan kind of sticks out too. I mean, you could name, Asia, Europe, this war. Also, at the same time, and what's really complicating this is the Biden approved United States weapons to be used by Ukraine. So Ukraine is using and will be using United States weaponry to fire into Russian territory, into Russia. Think about that now. First time that's happened. Now, Putin has warned about this, that if this happens, which is happening, will lead to Russia hitting NATO targets. Who is in NATO? United States. So it may not just be Europe. It could be here. They have hypersonic missile technology, y'all. Hypersonic missile technology. It's debatable whether the United States military has the ability to knock those down. I don't know. Maybe somebody here does. Let us know. I don't think they do. Hypersonic, y'all, we would have very little notice, if any. We probably would have no notice. They can be nuclear tipped, or they may not be. He may hit some things just to make a statement. Can't really blame him, tell you the truth. And people making a big deal of, we got Russian warships off our coast. Well, we're right on their doorstep. Been there. There's no diplomacy going on. There's no peace talks. Even Putin, a few times, he's come and said, I'm willing to talk. We can just call it a day. We've got our gains. We've got what we want. And what we really are coming after, a part of Ukraine. It would redraw some lines, it sounds like. But I'm willing to talk peace here. It's NATO's side that says no. Which only tells me one thing, is that this is self-inflicted. This is, they want this. You're not going to beat these guys. No. Not Russia. It's like they have unlimited resources. Also, the United States approved another military aid package to you-know-where. $225 million to Ukraine. All the while, like I said, no peace talks, no diplomacy, not at all. Only escalation, only more saber rattling, only more threats. This is sickening. It's insane. It's self-destructive. We, the people, are bearing the brunt of this. Our tax dollars are paying you're paying for this, and no telling what kind of corruption it's going into anyway. Only escalation. I wonder how many people are walking around that have no idea that there are even Russian warships right to our south anyway, right off our coast. Practically right off our coast. Nuclear armed. You're talking about no notice. If something happens, even if an accident happens, even if there's an accident and they think by mistake that there's somebody fired one, you got to retaliate. It could happen that way too. It may not even be on purpose. It could be an accident. And then things can fly out of control in a moment. And you got that dude at the desk here for us? Come on. And the United Nations chief says, get this now, this guy. The United Nations chief, I don't even know his name, it's not even important. He said, as far as climate, we are not the dinosaurs. We are the meteor. Talking about humans, I guess. We are not only in danger. We are the danger, is what he says. That tells you all you need to know about their intentions. I mean, think about that for a minute. You know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of people are nervous. Oh, United Nations coming. I don't know. They have no authority right here. They have no authority in the county I live in. I don't know about y'all. I'm not giving it to them. I don't care what anybody says. Anyway, I digress. Back to the European issue, Russia-Ukraine. My concern is that not only could there be an accident and things fly out of control, either side could decide, this is all conventional right now, conventional weapons and all this stuff. There's no end in sight. Keeps escalating. My concern is the next escalation. It could be an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, fries everything electrical. It could be a tactical nuclear weapon, which would most likely lead to the huge nukes, the thermonuclear nuclear weapons, hypersonic missiles. You could see attacks on the United States soil potentially, not just Europe, or bases in Europe, all over the place. Are you ready for that? How many people walking around right now out here are even remotely aware of this stuff? They would be totally caught off guard. Totally, absolutely off guard. They wouldn't know what to do. It would be absolute panic. Do not stop preparing. Don't. Hear me out here. Are you prepared to fortify in your home for weeks? Not just a few days, weeks. Water. Storage. Water is heavy. You can only store so much. Purification. Filtration. Think about containers. Do you have empty jars, glass jars, pitchers, whatever, that you can put water in? If we have a little bit of notice, if things start flying out of control a bit, every container you can get or have, fill it with water. Your bathtubs, fill them to the brim that they can't hold anymore. At least you can flush your toilets that way for a while. Think about water. Think about outside the box, barrels. I don't care. The water bobs that go in that you can fill up, the huge containers. Grab extra. Please grab extra. So water. We can survive without food for a while, or we can survive for a while on little food, actually. But we have to have water often. Fuel. Get some cash out too. Keep some cash out. There's several things, when you're talking about what Dawg, and I've had people say, even family, think you're crazy. Why do you keep doing this? Well, there's several things that might not be, they say, nuclear war is not going to ever happen. Well, it could be something else. It could be a financial collapse, which looks just as likely. Banks collapsing. It could be WW3. It could be massive civil unrest that flies out of control. Martial law. Attacks on the homeland could come in many forms, from inside and outside of our territory. Keep some cash out. Keep up on your fuel. Keep your gas tanks full. Get a little extra if you can. Don't just look at food. Look at your medical. Look at your medical stuff, your medicines. Things like that. The things that we don't really look at every day or think about every day. Go through it. There's no way to be absolutely prepared for everything. We can't be. But do what you can as you can. A few extra items every trip to the store. All right. I have 2 verses I'm going to go over. I'm staying in Proverbs, y'all. Some good ones. There's some good stuff in here. All right. Proverbs chapter 12 this time. I was in chapter 11 before. Chapter 12, verse 7 says, listen to this. The wicked are overthrown and perish, but the house of the righteous will stand. Man. There's a lot of wicked out there, y'all. There's a lot of wicked. And the other one, staying in chapter 12, verse 21, says, no disaster overcomes the righteous, but the wicked are full of misery. Ain't that truth? They may not show it on the outside, but they are. And they will be. The wicked. Awful lot of wicked out here, out there right now in this world. Man, y'all, that's so broken. It's been broken, but the wicked just we're seeing it for who they really are. Showing it's out in the open. It's not even being hidden anymore. They're flaunting it. Satan's flaunting it. And I believe there's a lot of demonic deception going on. I think that's a lot of it. These people are totally blinded by it. We can pray for them. I'm not sure what else to do. All right. Spiritual prep number 1. Okay? That's number 1. Let's be safe out there. We're going into a weekend. Be aware. Situational awareness. Stay close to Jesus. God bless you. I'll see you soon.